गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So last week we saw Maya Nirupan. What is Maya? And Maya is that power, that potentiality of Brahman which makes you forget your own essential nature. It seems to be there, at the same time it doesn't seem to be there. A classic example is given that a son of a barren woman took bath in the mirage waters, and after taking bath in the mirage waters took the rainbow to fight death. That is our situation. That is our situation. That is how deeply we are caught up with the under the spell of delusion, under the spell of ignorance, under the spell of incompleteness, under the spell of hypnosis, whatever word you may call it. And how can this Maya be destroyed? Shuddhadvaya Brahma Vibodha Nashya Sarpa Brahmo Rajju Vivekato Yatha. The only way to destroy this Maya is not by working on Maya. It's very fascinating, it's very interesting, it's very wondrous, and therefore we keep getting attracted by it, indulge in it, desire for it, whatever its expressions are. Really, you ask? Really, if you really go to the crux of it, there is nothing called Maya. Because there is only one Brahman. Then why are we giving this name Maya? Because we see its effects. And what are its effects? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. How do we know there is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas? We see their effects. And what are their effects? The knowledge, the ignorance, and the dynamism. The knowledge, dynamism, and ignorance. Sattva is knowledge, Rajas is dynamism, and Tamas is ignorance. Yes. Yes. So from the effects, we are construing that there must be a cause. And this is the beauty of the Sankhya system, that it has itemized everything in such a way in order to satisfy a person's intellect. So that he doesn't indulge in that direction by thinking or persisting that I need to remove Maya, I need to work out Maya. No. The only way you can work out Maya or remove Maya, dissolve this ignorance, is by coming to merge into the divine, or go one step further, by being the divine, by knowing the divine. That's the only way. How can you come back to being a man or a woman? Only when you have completely. Is it that you have to give up the wife or the husband or the brother or the sister or the daughter or the mother? Do you have to give up that? No. All you have to do is think about yourself as a woman, and that very moment all these seeming personalities, they drop you. You don't drop them. You cannot drop them. A mother can never drop her motherhood. A son cannot drop his sonhood. But if one comes back to the essential nature, automatically the personalities which we have superimposed on ourselves because of our insistence that these conditionings I am. See, the sattva rajas tamas is not superimposed on the self. Because of this sattva rajas tamas, the various objects of the world come about. Personalities come about, thoughts come about, emotions come about, knowledge, ignorance, etc. comes about. Waking, dream, deep sleep, they come about. But that is all not equal to self, isn't it? Self is independent of all this matter. And therefore, it is said, it can be destroyed through the knowledge of non-dual immaculate Brahman. Just like the illusory snake on the rope is destroyed by the discrimination between snake and rope, sattva knowledge, rajas dynamism, and tamas inert matter are our well-known three gunas and are inferred from their respective effects. So, rather than work out, yesterday one phone call came to me, from India. Swamiji, bless me. I just finished my Devi Upasana for 14 days. She did a very intense tapasya somewhere in India. I said, good, very good, very good. Keep it up. And then she says, Swamiji, now please bless me that in these holidays I do one more tapasya and another knot opens up. I said, if that is the Lord's wish, but my understanding is, why you want to create a knot between you and yourself? How much distance does it take for you to know yourself? Zero time, zero moment. Then why you are creating a distance saying that there is a knot in between, that I need to remove the knot? And for that, so as long as your attention is on the knot, you will be obsessed with the knot and not with the self. See? And what is Vivek Chudamani saying? That the only way to remove the knot of Maya, and what is the expression of this knot of Maya? Avidya kama karma. Isn't it? Ignorance leads to desire, leads to action. This knot can only be removed when we come back to our come back or contemplate or be attentive about our essential nature of the conscious principle. See? Which conscious principle? The I. What is this nature of I? Come to that. Or another way of looking at it is waker, dreamer, deep sleeper with the waking world, dream world and deep sleep world are coming and going every day. So in the dream, the dreamer was also there and the dream was also there. Same thing is happening here also. The waker is also there and the waking world is also there. But the one who knows these two and the absence of these two is someone else other than the waker and the dreamer and the deep sleeper. Take that position. For that you have to keep that thought vibrant within yourself. You have to be attentive towards that. The one who is illuminating the waking experience, because you can't just say I am aware of the waking experience. No, we are saying be aware of the waking experience, and that experience is equal to waker, waking experience, and the waking instruments put together is the waking experience, isn't it? You cannot have a waking experience. Experience cannot be by itself without an experiencer. So who is the experiencer? Waker. Who knows this? But how? I don't know right now. Stop complaining. Take 5 minutes ago. Do you know that you were the driver, driving was the experience? Yes. Do you know that you were sitting and sitting was the experience? Yes. So which means Every knowledge that has come and gone has been known by someone, and that is your natural state. Come back to it. Be that. So now from today we will look at, now the teacher Adi Shankaracharya, he starts going into the effects of Maya. How do we come to know there is Maya? Maya is unmanifest potentiality. When it manifests, the first expressions of it are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. The three modalities, the three moods, the three attributes, whichever way you call it. Here it says, the first one we are addressing is Rajoguna, the dynamic mode. Vikshepa Shakti Rajasa Kriyatmika. Vikshepa Shakti Rajasa Kriyatmika. Yata Pravritti Prasuta Purani. Yata Pravritti Prasuta Purani. Ragadayosya Prabhavanti Nityam. गादयोस्य प्रभवन्ति नित्यं दुःखादयो ये मनसो विकाराः विक्षेप शक्ति रजस क्रियात्मिका. What is this rajas shakti? It is vikshepa shakti. It is the power of agitation. The power of agitation. And this power of agitation, this agitative potentiality, is how Rajas expresses. And this agitative personality or potentiality then makes one act in life. Other word for it is kama, avidya, kama, karma. So that kama is here given as leads. Kama is the agitation. Desire is an agitation.
Is it not the karma, the agitation?
No. Karma is an effect. Karma is effect of desire. Can body think? Will body act by itself?
Without the desire, no.
Without the desire, no. See? Otherwise, dead man would act. Yes, in one way he is acting. You may not realize, because the cells are depleting, dissolving, the breath is going out, gone, air is escaping from the body, but there is no personality there to own it. Here we are talking about a living person, not a dead person. So what is the activity? Why am I moving this hand? Why am I speaking? Why am I walking, talking, eating, breathing? It's all because of the desire to sustain yourself, desire to maintain yourself, desire to be more than what you want, desire to share, whatever, self-preservation. Yata pravritti prasuta purani, because of which all activities of the world are happening. So, why you are who you are? It's because of Rajoguna. If hunger comes inside of you, it will not allow you to sit down here. You will move. If your bladder pressure comes, thirst comes, you will move towards get up. It will propel the body to act in a particular way. A still car without any ignition in it, it's sitting nicely. Nothing to do, tamas. But the moment you put the key inside and start it, is it the will of the car? No. Car is the body. Is it the will of the car? No. It's the desire of the person who's sitting behind the wheel of this car to reach somewhere. Similarly, who is the driver behind this body? The mind. And what is mind made up of? Aham vritti and idam vritti. The desirer is the aham vritti, I. And he desires. See? Or really speaking, desire is coming and he is latching onto it that it is my desire and creating a problem for himself. Ragadhayo sya prabhavanti nityam dukkadayo ye manaso vikaraha. And the modifications of mind such as desire etc. and the experiences such as misery etc. are born out of rajoguna. Ragadayo, raga likes, dislikes, greed, sorry, क्या? Desire, anger, greed, jealousy, hypocrisy, envy, all these qualities are ahankar. It's all because of the rajoguna. All because of rajoguna. And why has rajoguna come about? Why is there agitation? Because of not recognizing the self. Maya is the avaran shakti. Avaran shakti, it veils the truth as if. You look from the truth point of view, there is nothing called Maya, there is nothing called Sattva Rajas Tamas, there is nothing called Avidya Kam Karma, there is nothing called world as you know it. But here we are trying to retrace our steps back to that truth, who we are essentially are. So we have to settle all the possible complications in our return journey. Whatever the roadblocks are there, they have to be handled in a particular, by a particular way of thinking. And this is the way given in this part of the Sankhya Yoga. And the modifications of mind such as desire etc. I already told you. And the experiences. So what are experiences of misery etc. Dukkha, here it is written, Dukkadayo ye manaso vikaraha. Because of the desire, because of the hypocrisy, because of the agitations in the mind. Let's put it as a blanket statement. Because of the agitations in the mind, man, the individual experiences the various miseries of life. It is the agitation. There is the expectation, there is guilt, there is thinking. All these are nothing but agitations. In a larger sense, even sattva, even thinking thoughts of God, even thinking thoughts of doing puja, they are agitations in the mind. And after some time what happens? Oh my God, I am so tired doing puja every day, still God has not come. Some people, oh my God, Brahman, every day we come, every week we come, but still it is not clicking. These type of thoughts come, isn't it? I'm talking about misery here. So because you have a desire, what is the desire right now? Why you have come here? Desire to know the self. So that desire to know the self has brought you here, and now it is leading to understanding or non-understanding. Isn't it? And before you came here, you must have been fairly okay. But you come here, more information you get exposed to, then more doubts come. But then what next? So, and then you lose sleep. Then, oh my God, now I can't do this, I can't be miserable also, and I have not known the truth also. Is there a truth? Then this type of questions come. Is there God? These type of questions come. So one must keep the larger picture, keep the whole context in which the whole thing is going on, whole explanation is being done. So when you are in tamoguna, there is no experience of any agitation. You are in bliss. In sattva-guna, you should also be in bliss. But unavailability of you to be calm. And why you are not able to be calm? Because some desire lurks and comes out again. And it propels you to act again, and again agitation comes. Sometimes you see this also happening. People do japa for 1 hour, 2 hours, and when they come out of the japa, they start barking at everyone. Doing puja and all must make you calm and peaceful and content and happy. But instead, you come out more agitated. Somewhere something was going wrong. See? And this every one of us experienced also, and we observe also, isn't it? See? Continuing in the 114th verse. Kama krodho lobha dambhad. Wrong. Kama krodho lobha dambhadyasuya. Ubhadambhadyasuya. Ahankarershya matsaradyaastu ghorah. Ahankarershya matsaradyaastu ghorah. Dharma ete rajasa pumpravritti. Ete rajasa pumpravritti. Yasmadesha tadrajo bandhetuhu. Yasmadesha tadrajo bandhetuhu. So, kama, krodha, lobha, dambha adi, asuya, ahankara, ईर्ष्या मत्सर आदि अस्तु घोराः. Ghora means terrible. So what are the terrible modifications of the mind which has been agitated? These are the terrible modifications. These are the 10 heads of Ravana. They are not given 10 but 9. One was his own, no? So makes it 10. The terrible modifications of the mind such as desire, anger, greed, hypocrisy, fault finding, pride, envy and jealousy belong to this Rajoguna. Dharma ete rajasa pumpravrittihi yasmadesha tad rajo bandha hetuhu. It is because of this Rajoguna and its attributes that the jiva, the soul, is prompted in activity, karma, and therefore Rajoguna is the cause of bondage for the jiva. So, the whole soul blame is put on Rajoguna. That it is this urge to desire, the urge to do something.
But Swamiji, this is not in dream state.
Both. Dream state is also experienced as waking when you are dreaming. It is not experienced as dream.
No, what I meant was even in this is more in the waking state as well.
Kya cheez?
But all these.
No, all these are present in dream also. It's a whole world there, no? Yes, it is going very fast, no doubt, but there you are there. You are killing someone, you are hating someone, you are liking someone, you are marrying someone, you are caring for someone, you are hungry, you are thirsty. All these are actions prompted by desires. There also you get angry. There also you become compassionate. There also you take a vow of non-violence. There also you become a sannyasi or become a grahastha. Isn't it? All that is because of agitation within. But more than that, here it is told it is because of this rajas activity that the cycle of transmigration continues. Because man is not able to give up these 10 heads. He has to give up these 10 heads. And how can he give? These 10 heads are the effect. These 10 heads are the effect. What is the cause? Maya. These are the effects. How do you know there is Rajoguna? Nobody has seen Rajoguna till now. Nobody has seen Maya till now. But only through effects you may construe that there is something. These attributes belong to the Rajoguna class. It is because of this Rajoguna and its attributes that the Jiva, who is Jiva, the soul? What is soul equal to?
Mind.
Huh?
Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara.
Yeah. Mind cannot be mind without, but yes, true. But what is soul? So is it the mind which is leaving a dead man? Is it the mind which has, or is it the soul which has left the dead body?
Conscious principle.
Yeah, then why don't you call it consciousness? Then why do you call it soul? Is soul and consciousness one?
Yes.
One ingredient is missing. Consciousness with limitations is called soul. And what is the limitation? Desire. Desire. Subconscious impressions. Not body, all that comes with that only. Consciousness plus mind is equal to soul. Soul minus mind is equal to consciousness. Is prompted in activity and therefore Rajo. So, if you have a desire, you are prompted to act. How is the soul prompted to act? Because he has taken this body to be him, so he acts through the body, thinking that he is the body. Then, anger, we all know that. Greed,
So all negative characters.
attributes are rajasic. But there are more negative ones. Nidra, alasya, that is also negative. They are also negative, but they don't come under rajas. Rajas is that which makes you, laziness does not make you agitated. You enjoy laziness. You forget. You have to do some things. Responsibilities are there, duties are there. You forget everything. So Rajoguna is the cause of bondage for the Jiva. So what has happened here? Now think in a different way here. We explained somewhere in the verses gone by that what is mind? Mind is subject-object interaction, isn't it? I thought and that thought interaction. What is I thought? What is I thought? Can I thought exist without that thought? Cannot exist, right? Now, what is I thought?
Existing in its own absence.
Thought,
No.
thought other than the
Yeah, in one sense, yes. What is I thought? Why has, okay, let me put it this way. Why has I thought come about? Can we ask why?
Attachment.
To the body.
Can we ask because of attachment to the body? Did you create this attachment? No, it is a phenomena, isn't it? So what is this why has this phenomena come about?
Because of duality.
In here, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm jumping ahead. Phenomena is going on. There's no waking, dream, deep sleep phenomena is going on. Similarly, the phenomena of that one reality expressing as aham vritti and idam vritti at our individual level is going on. You cannot do anything about it. Right? But this aham, instead of being the truth, it is latching on to idam and is creating, has what you call, has restricted its options of being infinite. Right? As a I thought. And when Ramana Maharishi said, who am I? You are looking at I. And eventually you want to get to I without a thought. Isn't it? Vritti rahitaham you want to get to. So, when does I thought as I thought appear? When it is attached to or thinking about or giving value to idam vritti. Isn't it? And when it is giving value, it is creating likes and dislikes, it is creating impressions, it is creating what you call vasanas, which become the cause of future desires, and they become the impetus for karma at the body level. To understand this. And all this is because of, and all this makes the jiva, who's essentially free, who's essentially infinite, who's essentially Satchidanand Swarup, Nitya Buddha Mukta Swarup. Essentially. But the jiva is, what is he feeling? I am bound, I am limited, I am a product of time, I will go away in time, one day I have to realize. Well, I have to realize as long as the mind is agitated, it will not come. In Yoga Sutra also we told you once that 5 types of mind are there. Mudha-mana, Kshipta-mana, Vikshipta-mana, Ekagra-mana and Niruddha-mana. So, Mudha-mana, dull mind, not qualified for knowing the truth. Kshipta-mana, agitated mind, not qualified to know the truth. Vikshiptamana, distracted mind. There it is given, in this definition is given. Distracted mind, not qualified to know the truth. We are distracted all the time. Even while listening, we are distracted by the cat. Niruddhamana, the last one, no mind, zero mind, that is also not qualified to know the truth. Only Ekagra Mana is qualified to know the truth. So here when we are seeing these qualities of desire, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Dambha, Asuya, Ahankara, Irshya, Matsara, etc., each one is more terrible than the other. If you read Durga Saptashati, in Durga Saptashati, all these fellows are given different names. And the Devi goes and kills them one by one. And does the Devi not know? She knows. But there in Devi Bhagavad, Devi is taken as the ultimate. No? So that whole journey from beginning till end in Devi Bhagavad or Durga Saptashati. In Durga Saptashati is the unfoldment of the soul. Same knowledge is given in a story form, Kumbha, Nikumbha, Nishu, Madhukaitavha and all those various Rakshasas. All those various Rakshasas. Who's there? Deepa. All these people, all these Rakshasas are killed by the Devi. So therefore, Rajoguna is the cause of bondage for the Jiva. It keeps him in the... What is bondage here? The bondage is remaining caught up in the whirlpool. Whirlpool of rebirth. Everything is waters. All the waters of the river are moving towards merging into the ocean. And that is their destiny. One day. Question is, are you going to recognize that you are water before merging into the ocean? It will happen eventually. But you know who we are like? This everything in this creation is that waters of the consciousness. But in that waters of the consciousness, there are whirlpools. One whirlpool is called Renuka, the other is called Bindi, the third is called Camera, fourth is called, if you want living beings, then all living beings are the whirlpools. And what has happened? They are only crying that we have got caught up. Please save us. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Pahimam, Pahimam. Call out to the Lord, call out to the Guru, call out to the Bhagavan. But that whirlpool, what is it made up of? Water only. Made up of water only. This is our lot. See? Did someone come and create the whirlpool on the river? It happened as a result of circumstances. Certain conditions have to be there and it happens, isn't it? The trick is to recognize yourself as the consciousness. All this data is given, but don't get caught up in it. This data is only to satisfy the intellect. Where are we? Tamoguna now. The inertia mode. So just now we saw the dynamic mode, now the inertia mode. Esha vrittirnama tamo gunasya. नामतमो गुणस्य शक्तिर्यया वस्त्वभासते न्यथा शक्तिर्यया वस्त्वभासते न्यथा सैषा निदानं पुरुषस्य संस्रुतेः सा निदानं पुरुषस्य संस्रुतेः विक्षेपशक्ते प्रसरस्य हेतुः विक्षेपशक्ते प्रसरस्य हेतुः. Tamoguna is the power of concealment because of which the things are perceived not as they are. This is the cause of the transmigration, etc. And therefore also the cause of the expressions of this dynamic active expression. So let's put it. I told you that the attributes of the Rajoguna, they were the cause of transmigration. Let's not take it that way. They precipitate dirt into the consciousness, which is not possible. Consciousness is ever pure. And here we are saying, in the consciousness there are vasanas. What is vasana? Dirt. Mala. How is it possible? On one hand you say consciousness is pure. On the second hand you say the mind is nothing but consciousness. In the third one you say that in this consciousness there is dirt called vasanas. So if you put three together, it is not this. There is no conclusion. The conclusion is consciousness cannot have dirt sticking to it. Can it? Can anything get stuck to water? Water essentially is pristine, clear. Whatever you add, if you say muddy water, mud has been added to the water. But water remains water. You can remove the mud and water will still remain water. You add color to the water, you can extract the color from the water. Yes. Water as an element remains ever pure. It does not mix with anything. But there is an illusion of mixing. See? Exactly the same way. Consciousness is ever pure. It doesn't get colored by sattva, rajas, tamas. This you have to recognize about your essential nature. That you are of that nature. That because of my insistence that I am the body, because of my insistence that these attributes are there exhibiting themselves, does not mean that I have become angry or I am desiring. Let it happen, let it go on. Don't take ownership. The less you take ownership, the quicker the dissolution of all these 10 heads, the Rajoguna, will come about. So here in Tamoguna is the power of concealment. Concealment of what? Concealment of the truth. Tamo is the dark veil which does not allow us to be who we are. You call it self-forgetfulness, you call it non-apprehension. It does not allow us to apprehend the reality that we essentially are. Because of which the things are perceived not as they are. So, what is happening? From the reality's point of view, the world is nothing but the reality. From reality's point of view, everything is reality. So, are you seeing reality? Or are you seeing names and forms? Names and forms, isn't it? Where is your attention? Is your attention on gold or is it on ornaments? Is your attention on water or is it on the waves? See? So why? What is that? What is this? What is this tamas? Is that potential expression of that maya which does not allow you to see a thing as it is, but insist that it is a wave, insist that it is an ornament. We keep insisting. We keep insisting that this world is real. We keep insisting that how can I be not the body? This insistence comes as a result of not cognizing the self as it is. And why it is it? Because of the wheeling power of the of the tamas. This is the cause of the transmigration and therefore also the cause of the expression of this dynamic active expression. So first there is concealment, then there is imagination. First there is self capital S-E-L-F, self forgetfulness. Then there is projection. So first we have forgotten who we are and now we are imagining that we are the body, that we are the mind, that we have a purpose, that we need to liberate, etc., etc., etc. Isn't it? Even the thought of liberation has come only because we have taken ourselves to be bound. Otherwise, where is the thought of liberation? What is the thought of, what is liberation for a wave? To be water. But it is already water. What is the liberation for an ornament? To be gold. It's already gold. What is the thought? What is liberation for an individual? For the jiva? For the soul? Whatever you may say. It is conscious. It's already consciousness. It's already consciousness. And consciousness, water, gold, mud by nature are infinite, if we may take that example. But what is a pot? A limited mud in a particular shape. So pot says, I am someone. His attention is on name and form. Ornament says, oh, I only go in, the necklace says, I only go around the neck. It has defined its purpose, defined its name and form, and it's defined its usefulness and forgotten that it is gold. Same way, us. I am only this body. I am only this mind. Many don't stop there. I cannot live without my home. I cannot live without my children. I cannot live without my husband and wife. I cannot live without my parents. It goes on further. Remember in Panchadashi, what was that? Mukhyatma, Mithyatma, and Gaunatma. Gaunatma is the worst of the worst scenario. Gaunatma is imaginary roles that you are playing, and those imaginary roles are the miserable ones, and you are thinking you are miserable. Husband is an imagination in your own mind. It's an imaginary role. There is nothing called husband, only man is there. Wife is miserable. Wife is an imagination on account of a man to whom you are married. And you have decided. What has happened? You have, because of the concealment of your essential nature, now you are projecting that I am this body, and you are not stopped there. Then now I am not only this, I am not just a man or a woman, but I am a husband or a wife. That husband, wife, brother, sister, etc. This is the Gaunatma. That's the second imagination. First imagination is body. I am the body. Or you can say, third imagination is the Gaunatma, second imagination is I am the body, and first imagination is that I have forgotten myself. Which is not true. You cannot forget yourself. It's impossible. So first there is non-apprehension of the reality, non-apprehension of the nature of I, that I am, and then there is misapprehension. Misapprehension means projection. Non-apprehension means self-forgetfulness. So in deep sleep, we are in the state of non-apprehension, where we are experiencing the bliss because we are very close to the self, but we don't know that we are the self. Therefore, sleep. Then, what happens after sleep? You wake up or you dream. Projection. And what is the projection? Oh, I am in my house. I am the body. I am married. I have got children. I have to struggle for a living. I have to survive. I have got these fears. I have got these phobias. I am a compassionate, non-compassionate. I am hungry, breathing, born on this particular day, etc. And goes on and on and on. There is no end to it. This is the projection. And it all begins because I am the body. So deep sleep is the tamasic state. It is the cause, it's the causal state, and dream and waking are the effect. They are the projections. They are the projections. In the deep sleep state, waking and dream become unexpressed. And then again they express after you wake up. Prajnavanapi panditopi chaturopyatyanta sukshmarthadrika pyantyatta sukshmarthadrika vyalidhastamasa na veti bahudha sambodhitopi sfutam भ्रान्त्यारोपितमेव साधुः कलयत्यालम्बते तद्गुणान् हन्तासौ प्रबला दुरन्ततमसः शक्तिर्महत्यावृतिः. Overpowered by tamoguna, the power of dull-wittedness, Even an intellectual, well read, clever, very well studied in scriptures, even such a person, although instructed in many ways, is unable to understand correctly. He is taking the superimposed perception of illusion to be real and thereby gets influenced by them. Most difficult to conquer indeed is this great power of concealment. It is because of this tamoguna, the tamas leads to ineffective discrimination. It leads to duragraha. It leads to insistence. It leads to you being in the same loop again and again and again and again. Transmigration is a loop. Your insistence that you are a body is a loop, even after so many satsangs. Hopefully not, but every now and then it comes back, isn't it? Being hungry, being thirsty, interacting in a particular way with a particular person, continuously, same reaction, unknowingly. That's because of dull-wittedness. Dull-wittedness does not allow you to grow, does not allow you to expand. It keeps you in the same loop again and again and again and again. So you may know, we may be giving lectures, you may be listening to many satsangs, you may be doing lot of japa, doing lot of sadhana, but then still insisting that I am the body. And getting angry if the food doesn't come, getting angry if people don't touch your feet. I am the elder, don't you know that? I am a sannyasi, don't you know that? See? This insistence of body identification, of insisting that you have got a purpose in this world. That purpose will come only when you consider yourself to be a body. That you have to do something, that there is some great work to be done by you. It will keep you in the loop. So therefore, here it is being told as a precaution to all those regular satsangors. Beware. Just because you can answer every question, because you can at the moment a teacher speaks or any other Mahatma speaks, you can complete the thought. It's a very good thing. In your mind, you are completing the thought what the teacher is going to say, which means you are in tune. Fantastic. But all that in tune is not equal to anything. If you keep insisting, oh, I know this, I know that, but at the very next juncture of your life, you lose the poise and come back to body identification. This is what is told here in this verse.
Swamiji, what is Vikshepa Shakti?
Agitation, power of agitation.
Because that is there in both Rajoguna and also Tamoguna.
Tamoguna, because of Tamoguna, Vikshep comes. Tamoguna is the cause, Rajoguna is the effect. Tamoguna is not Vikshep. Tamoguna is concealment, forgetfulness, non-apprehension, hiding, hypnosis, self-hypnosis. That means self as if has forgotten itself. Self-forgetfulness. So that is Tamoguna. And projection. Then, so who are you? I'm asking.
Like in the body consciousness, Usha.
Huh.
But I am the self.
So why didn't you start? Actually, I am the essential self, but making believe as if I am the Usha who who's been given the name as with respect to this body. Why came from body consciousness, which means attention is on the body. Understand? So this is called insistence. Some people don't even come. This is mithyatma according to Panchadashi. Mukhyatma is Paramatma. Mithyatma is body identification. Gaunatma is wife, etc. So good, you didn't go into that one when I asked the question. So now remember when was it your husband or someone else asked the question, but what about our duties? It was your husband. What about the duties? So that is coming from Gaunatma point of view. It is not coming from Mithyatma point of view. See? So we must keep, and this is because of Tamoguna. And everyone has it. It's not question of your husband or you or me. We are all a mixture of Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Maybe that particular moment the Tamas was high. So that question. But he has asked better questions other times. So which means that time Sattva was high. Maybe he had eaten food, maybe he was tired after a whole day's work, maybe he was physically exhausted, maybe he was not well. All opportunities for tamas to express. Non-concentration, tamas will express. Remember, ekagra chit is the sattvic state. Moodha and niruddha both are tamasic. Vikshipta and vikshipta are rajasic. And ekagra alone is sattvic state. So if in this state, if this waking state is the expression of sattva, and in this waking state, sattvic state, what should we be? What are the attributes of sattva? We'll see in afterwards. Contentment, happiness, bliss, joy, peace, etc., etc. It's a waking state is a sattvic state. Are you experiencing that? So we are so intelligent that even in the sattvic state we can introduce rajas and tamas. We are so smart. We have found a way out. We have allowed the virus of rajas and tamas to corrupt the sattva also. Mahatma is he who has removed the virus. Not only of sattva and rajas, rajas and tamas, including sattva also. See? So you see, this is what we see in Ashtavakra Gita. Not Ashtavakra Gita. The dialogue between Ashtavakra and Bandi, who was the son of Varuna. You sent me, I think. And in that dialogue, Bandi, he is the great Pandit in the court of Janak Maharaj, and anyone who comes to debate him, if he gets defeated, he has to take Jala Samadhi. And Ashtavakra's father also has taken the Jala Samadhi because of this reason. And as Ashtavakra grows, he is educated, he goes to a Gurukula, studies, comes to know, goes to the court, and there things happen. All of them start laughing at him. He also starts laughing. All of them start laughing, including King Janak. He also starts laughing, and he laughs louder than everyone in the court. Janak Maharaj ji says, I can understand that we are laughing because he's crooked at 8 places. But why are you laughing? He says, I am laughing because I came to a congregation of Gyanis, of intelligent people, but I feel that I have come to a congregation of cobblers, Bandi, and all other Pandits. So, how can you say us cobblers? We are Brahmins, we are Pandits. He says, then tell me, did you laugh by looking at me, at my body? If you did, my body and your body is made up of the same ingredients. Same things have gone into making the body. And if you laughed at the Atma, then my Atma and your Atma is also the same. Then tell me, at what did you laugh? And now the battle of the debate begins. And in that debate, even though this Bandi is very, very intelligent, fantastic memory, everything, it goes on for many days. But he has not known the self. Ashtavakra knows the self. And he is able to articulate it also. And eventually Bandi gets defeated. This is a story, we have to make it our experience. If every day we come to satsang somewhere or the other, and everywhere it is being reinstated to you, impressed upon your mind that self is one without a second and you are that self, and then again after coming out of the satsang you insist that you are the body, this is the effect of the tamas. This insistence is because of the tamas. This dull-wittedness. You understand everything in the satsang, but on your own you are not able to live it as it. We fall into the default mode very quickly. Most difficult to conquer indeed is this great power of concealment. Tamasa shakti mahatya vritti. This tamas shakti is mahati avriti. It's a great concealment indeed. Continuing, abhavana va viparita bhavana. Sambhavana vipratipatirasyaah. Vana vipratipatirasyaah. Sansargayuktam na vimunchati dhruvam. Vikshepa shakti kshapayatyajasrama. Srama. A person in association with this power of concealment is ever influenced by abhavana. Abhavana is no understanding. How does this express of no understanding? When the satsang is going on, sleep comes. You don't want to work it out. You don't want to remain alert. You don't want to grasp it by its tail and make it one with you. Lack of concentration. That lack of concentration, you have to find the inspiration within to be concentrated. You want to get realized. You want salvation. Then you have to find ways and means. Nobody has forced you to come. So if you have come, then find a reason to be inspired from within. And when we are comparing, when our thoughts go, oh, this is what he told in the last class, again he is repeating it, immediately mind will check out. Scriptures are nothing but repetition after repetition after repetition. We have all seen that, isn't it? And so is your interaction with the world. Deep sleep comes every day, it's a repetition. Dream comes every day, it's a repetition as a phenomena. Waking happens every day, it's a repetition. Your calling husband as a husband is a repetition. Your calling children as children, this table as table, coming and seeing this room exactly as it is for last 10 years, 15 years, is repetition. Everything is repetition. Now what we have to do? We have to repeat. Repetition can be cancelled by another repetition. And that new repetition has to be Aham Brahmasmi. Vritti. Thoughts cannot be deleted from your mind. Once impression has gone into your mind, it cannot be deleted. But you can create a new thought more intense, more powerful than the previous one, and the previous one becomes weakened, and then the mind will not go in that loop all the time. See? Abhavana, no understanding, dull-wittedness. Such people, the moment they listen or they go to any satsang or little bit of whether you take a story of Bhagwan or you take Vedanta, everywhere, oh but this is very difficult, oh but this is very difficult, oh but this is impossible. That also, impossibility will come afterwards. But this is very difficult. They just no understanding. Such people is better, at least they are sleeping, no problems, good. Second one, Viparita Bhavana. Whatever is told, they understand opposite. They understand opposite. You are told that self is infinite. Oh, so I am infinite. And what is your definition of I? Which includes body, mind, intellect. Viparita Bhavana. Wrong, opposite understanding. Wrong understanding. It's a unique power. Very few can do that, but there are people like that. Then Sambhavana, impossibility. They feel that it is impossible to achieve this. Because, yes, they are inspired, but every time they are inspired, their attention that I don't know where the self is, I don't know where the God is. Oh, I have not come across anyone who has seen it. Is it really possible? I think it's impossible. And as a result of this impossibility, they again fall back into the world. Then for them, familiar is comfortable. I have to do my duties, I have to take care of my relations and possessions, and that's it. They are not available to higher growth. They are not available to expansion. They are not available to sattva. And the last one, vipratipattirasyaha, and that is erroneous understanding. Erroneous understanding means absolutely wrong understanding. Not only, we can say the second one, viparita bhavana, is opposite understanding. Here it is wrong understanding completely. Completely wrong understanding. And in this way, these attributes of tamoguna do not leave him, and in addition, the power of projection disturbs him a lot. So, all these are expressions of tamas. Abhavana, viparita bhavana, sambhavana, viprati-pattihi. All these are expressions of tamoguna, and all this is on one hand. Oh, I don't know. Stop there, it's still okay. Ignorance is bliss. But then, I don't know, but I think. Projection. Contrary understanding, again, that you make your statement and keep quiet, man. But no, how that contrary wrong understanding is the right one, then problem begins. And you are instilling that thought in your mind by repeating it again and again and again. Just like example, we keep saying, oh, but it is difficult, oh, but it is difficult, oh, it is difficult, it is difficult. But what to do with the children are disturbing, we have got responsibilities, this, that, duties, etc. How many years you have been saying the same excuse? All those responses come in one of these four responses. So, such people who are caught up in these four expressions, to them tamoguna does not leave. And tamoguna, we told you it was the avarana shakti, it was a concealment. Then after that, you will project. Then you will project. And as a result, such people are the ones who get agitated afterwards. It will lead to agitation. Because projection always leads to agitation. Rajoguna can never make you become quiet. It will keep you busy. It will keep you active, physically or mentally, emotionally. You will be like a roller coaster, this way, it will throw you this way, confuse you this way, desire this thing, keep judging the world, keep creating likes and dislikes. This is the lot of a Rajoguni person. And why he has become Rajoguni? Because this Tamogun had set in. Tamogun is the cause, Rajogun is the effect. Well, should not say that way. It should not say that way. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, these are the three modalities. But when we take it as waking, dream and deep sleep, then Tamogun is the cause and Rajogun is expressing as effect called waking and dream. In this way, in that manner. So here it is told, Ajnana malasya jadatva nidra pramada mudhatva mukhastamo gunaha etai prayukto nahi veti kinchit nahi veti kinchit nidralu vatstambha vadeva tishtati nidralu vatstambha vadeva tishtati. Now what are the expressions of tamoguna? These are the expressions. Those were the attributes. Here is the expressions. Ignorance, laziness, inertia, sleep, habitual defaulter, dull-wittedness, etc. are the qualities of tamoguna. Under the spell of tamoguna, a person doesn't have proper understanding and leads a life of an indolent, sleepy person like an inert pillar. Such people, they have no inspiration in life. They have no creativity. They will follow. They are good followers. They are good followers. But there also they will keep complaining. These are the people, these tamoguni people are the ones who are the biggest complainers in life. When tamoguna is at its peak, or more than rajas and sattva, that person is called shudra, complainer. When rajas is more, tamas is less, and sattva is just coming in, such a person is called Vaishya. When rajas is more, tamas is less, and sattva is little bit more than tamas, then such a person is called Kshatriya. And Brahmin is when sattva is more, rajas is less, and tamoguna is almost negligible. Then it is a sattva or Brahmin. This is one way to categorize these. Other way we have seen on basis of knowledge and karma, action and knowledge, based on activity and knowledge. Naturally, knowledge, if the knowledge is that of laziness, dull-wittedness, what action will he do? Only of sleeping, only of complaining, automatically tamas. See? It's a perfect equation here. So in this way, this is not to judge other people, this is not to comment about other people, this is about every given moment of our existence, catching ourselves. These are all the initial stages. Catching yourself. Yes, you want to be attentive on the self. While being attentive on the self, suddenly you realize, "Arey, half a day has gone, I have not even thought even once about the self. What happened? I went away from the self." Or that very moment you want to come back and think of the self, and the moment you want to think of the self, understand, tamoguna has raised its hood. Misunderstanding is happening, tamoguna has raised its hood. If you are listening to a joke and it didn't click to you what the joke was and you didn't laugh, understand, tamoguna has raised its hood. Dull-wittedness in the form of here they are given only ignorance, laziness, inertia, sleep, habitual defaulter, that is pramad. So in Sanskrit it is told nidra ajnana आलस्य जड़त्व निद्रा प्रमाद मूढ़त्व मुखाः तमोगुणाः. So this pramad is repeating the same mistake again and again. That is pramad. And what is the mistake we are committing again and again? I am the body. This is real. Or isn't am I not a wife, or am I not a husband, or am I not a son? Is that not real? What are you talking about? Self. But this is the self. He is caught up in Gaunatma. He is not able to go beyond it. He is not it's not subjective enough to. He is caught up so much. Why? Because of dull-wittedness. Because of tamas. These are the reasons. A person doesn't have proper understanding. Etai prayukto nahi vetti kinchit. Vetti kinchit, can't understand any simple thing also. Even a little bit. Nidralu vatstambha avadeva stambhau adeva tishtata. Stambha. Stambha is a pillar. Pillar. So he just stands like a pillar. Sometimes when you tell your children, did you study 2 and 2, 2 to the 4, 2, and he just looks at you. He doesn't understand what mummy is going on for 2 and 2. It's too fast for him to work it out. Sometimes we have been like that, stambhavat in the school when we are in the class, especially civics studies and physics, chemistry, when some things didn't click, that time we are like a mood. Then we'll ask some other student who understood better and then to explain. Because the teacher is thinking that his way is correct. And we are understood. We are not understood. But at that moment, we are stambhavat. Whenever we are in shock, we are stambhavat. We are like a pillar-like. Pillar-like meaning inert. No thoughts going in your mind. You don't know that you are consciousness, and at the same time, no understanding is taking place. Suddenly, everything has frozen. That is stambhavat. Tishtati. And such a person lives a life of an indolent. Indolent? Indolent को क्या बोलेंगे? No discipline. No discipline. Wayward. Licentious life. Licentious life. Indulgent life. There are no rules for him. Why? ठीक है यार, सब चलता है. हम भी बोलते हैं ना कभी कभी. But you have to be very careful in what context you are saying in सब चलता है. Is it out of you don't want to work it out? Or is it it's too much to work it out? It's too much to contemplate on the self. Or you don't want to contemplate on the self. सब चलता है. Why? You have given up. It's not about the world, huh? All these indolent, sleepy person, all these are not about the world. It's about these various things expressing out of you on account. These are the traits that are expressing out of you. So you have created such mindset which are expressing these expressions, allowing these expressions to come out. So, do we want to live like this? No. You must push. In spite of everything, remain happy under all circumstances. Remain a sakshi under all circumstances. Remain undisturbed under all circumstances. Joyfully. Remain undisturbed joyfully. And that joy is not going to come to you if you are in Rajasic mode or Sattvic mode. Or Tamasic mode. Tamasic mode. But now when we go into Sattvic mode, there it will be shown that the moment Sattva comes, Sattva, what does Sattva equal to? Calm mind, content mind, quiet mind, uncluttered mind, clear mind, single pointed mind, expanded mind. So many different words are there. And only in such a mind, bliss starts expressing itself. Knowledge starts expressing itself. Then it's not book knowledge. You will read it once and it will click. Intuition starts happening in the Sattvic mode. As much as you may try that what I think, what I speak and what I act in life must become integrated. It will not happen. But the moment you become calm and collected as a result of your concentration on the self, automatically these traits of integration, they will start expressing. Knowledge will, understanding. Right now, for a wayward person, for a dull-witted person, it's so difficult to understand. You keep repeating, they are not ready to understand. See? But once mind starts becoming calm, uncluttered, and you can bring that about by yama niyama, you can bring that about by pranayam, automatically it becomes how should I say? It becomes a gateway of knowledge. Where there was tamas expressing or rajas expressing, now knowledge, sattva, understanding, inspiration, dynamism. But this dynamism is not ha ha hoo hoo. It is quiet dynamism, silent dynamism. intuition, all these qualities are sattvic qualities. And that, oh, that is still further away. No. There's next one, no? We'll just read this and then conclude. Only one or two, three are there. Sattva-guna, the knowledge mode. Sattvam vishuddham jalavat tathapi. Tabhyam militva saranaya kalpate. Yatratma bimba pratibimbitas san. Bimbitas san prakashayatyarkakivakhilam jadam. Prakashayatyarkakivakhilam jadam. Prakashayatyarkakivakhilam jadam. We'll look into this in our next class. Just sit quietly for a minute or so. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.